And we're back. What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. Happy what I have considered HBCU homecoming month. October, I know a lot of us HBCU grads are probably a little hurt and sad that homecoming season is not going on as usual. But because of that, or in lieu of that, during this month, I am going to be highlighting all amazing HBCU grads for the remainder of the month for this In Conversation series. So we will have Howard grads, Hampton grads, FAMU, and more, just talking about the dope things that they're doing. And there are so many talented HBCU grads. So today you can see I have on my Support Black Colleges shirt. Again, just getting out that message as a proud Howard graduate. Howard was just an amazing experience. That's actually where I met half of Ivey and Allen, who are my guests today, which I'm super excited about. But just had some amazing experiences meeting really great people at Howard. And so I know that's a similar feeling shared between all HBCU grads. So I really just want to celebrate HBCUs this month. So I think Ivey and Allen are here. We will be linking them in soon. But thank you again for joining. I hope you guys have had a good week. We are on the tail end. This is Friday Eve. Shout out to Friday Eve. Tomorrow's the weekend, so we're getting into it. This is going to be a great conversation. My guests are co-founders of Ivey and Allen Luxe Candle Company. It's out of Dallas. And the cool thing about it is they have a hashtag Candles for the Culture. And to me, that's sort of like the coolest part about it, because once we get into their themes and the types of candles they have, you really sort of see how they tie in the culture to their candles, which is really a unique position to me. So I see, thank you. What's up? Rayon, James, Sister Nance, Ivey and Allen. Thank you guys so much for joining. It's awesome to have you with us today. Let me go ahead and see if I can join in Ivey and Allen. We should be getting them in soon. Hey, Shane, what's going on? Thanks for joining. And if you guys have questions, feel free to drop them in the question box. Hey, guys.
What's up?
Nikki.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm very excited to have you guys on today.
We're excited to be here.
Yeah, for sure.
I really like your
photo
wall. Yeah, that's dope.
That's why I have this accent wall. When I moved into my apartment a long time ago, I was like, that wall, because when you come in, you see this wall first, and I'm like, it has to be a color. And being a photographer, I was like, well, we'll throw pictures, and they all have to be black frames. I'm very particular. So yes, thank you. And now it's a great time for this. So how are you guys doing?
Doing good. Like you said, it's Friday Eve. So definitely excited about the weekend.
Yes.
And we're actually we're doing a photo shoot right now. Well, the photographer is doing a photo shoot for our candles today and tomorrow. She just wrapped today and she's going back in tomorrow. So we got a lot of new pictures coming. So we're excited about that.
Stay tuned for the site update. So that's coming.
Super excited. And the site, what's the site? Let's let them know the site now.
IveyandAllen.com. IveyandAllen.com.
Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and pin your guys' Instagram here. Well, thank you for joining. So as you know, October is unofficially homecoming season for us HBCU grads. So I want to start by just getting what are some of your guys' best homecoming and or HBCU memories?
Okay,
I'll go first since he has endless stories. So I attended FAMU, Florida A&M University in Tallahassee, Florida. I don't know if you can see this swag I got on right now. Yeah, so probably my most memorable homecoming experience was probably, I'm class of 07. So it was probably the second to last homecoming I had as a student. And a lot of my friends just came down from Albany State, other colleges, HBCUs, and just came down to stay with us and experience our homecoming. And it was supposed to be kind of this thing where we just jump around different homecomings and kind of experience who had the best. We didn't go to Howard.
So we didn't go to the best.
But it was just really cool having everybody kind of experience that with me, and just I can't remember most of it. for obvious reasons. But
Yeah.
it was just a really good experience, just having all my friends come down and just showing them around like Tallahassee. Everyone thinks that there's nothing to do in Tallahassee, but the city basically comes alive during homecoming. So it was cool.
Nice, nice.
So I'll go. I have two.
Okay.
So I'll try to make it quick. The first one is as a civilian, I guess I'll say. We actually, one of my friends, Omari, and James Hope, they had a party, I believe it was called the Grey Goose Mansion at the time. And J. Cole performed.
Okay.
And after J. Cole performed, me and a bunch of my friends were on stage with bottles and we performed. So we always say that J. Cole opened up for us that night. So soon after that, me and another group of friends, we started throwing 1,000 bottles. And the second year that it was at Howard Theater,
The epic 1,000 bottles.
The epic 1,000 bottles party. We had Bobby Shmurda come out and perform. And it was a big surprise. It was like the height of what was the name of the song? The Shmoney.
Yeah.
Dance song.
Yeah, so the Shmoney dance was on, like, all that was like the height of it. I think he performed at BET Awards 2 weeks later, and then unfortunately he went away to prison like 2 weeks after that. So but yeah, just to see everybody's faces when he came out, like nobody except the DJs and the promoters. Shout out to BE, shout out to Jason for TGL, but
yes,
we were, and the DJs, Chubby, Chase, we all knew, but nobody else knew. So it was a huge surprise, and it really it was good to see everybody's faces in the surprise and see how crazy everybody went when that happened.
Yes, that was a good one. I was there too. That was Okay, so you went to FAMU and you went to Howard. What made you guys choose those schools initially when you decided to go?
I applied to Howard because Diddy went there, and I had dreams of being Diddy. Yeah. I'm from Texas, and usually everybody applies to all the Texas schools, and we usually go to a Texas school. But I kind of wanted to get out and explore. It was one of the best decisions of my life. I think what ultimately sealed it is, luckily, I had a partial scholarship, but they gave me the most scholarship money. So that kind of made the decision, helped make my parents' decision to let me go out and venture outside of Texas. And yeah, like I said, it was a great decision.
Awesome.
Well, for me, it was more because my big brother went to FAMU. So my mom was I'm originally from Atlanta, Georgia. And I know you're probably saying, like, you bypass so many great institutions, in the AUC and everything. But I wanted to follow my big brother. He's successful and was successful there, and would come home and rant and rave about, all of his experiences and not wanting to come home. And I wanted that. So it just made sense for me to do that.
Hey, so that's great story. And Dom said that was a fun night, talking about the Bobby Shmurda night. So.
Hey, Dom. Yeah, that was an epic night, epic homecoming. So
yes. So what do you think were your favorite things about attending an HBCU, or even most impactful once you left?
Okay.
I guess my favorite thing was so FAMU's motto is like that whole excellence with caring thing. Mm-hmm. And essentially when I went there, it just felt like I was just joining another family, if you will. And it was like almost instant. Like I just felt like I belonged. And so, and having everyone surrounding you, supporting you, from your professors to Miss Johnson in the financial aid office, you know what I mean? Just kind of making sure you had everything you needed. And it was just a really just great overall experience. The transition was seamless, and it just fit well. Yeah. So, and I feel like going to HBCU kind of essentially made me who I am as a woman, and just in Black culture and Blackness, and just being surrounded by people that look like you and doing great things. And it just, it was just great. I mean, coming from Atlanta, you're surrounded by Black folk essentially everywhere. And so transitioning to Tallahassee and being around people that look like me, like I said, and doing great things, being smart, and just kind of just blossoming all over. It just kind of, it fit.
Right.
Well, you said how did going to HBCU impact my life, or what was
Yeah.
that thing?
How did it impact your life, or like, yeah, while you were there, or even like once you left, sort of, what's that impact that it left on you?
I think the biggest impact for me, again, coming from Texas, is just understanding that there are so many different types of Black people, not only in the United States, but around the world. Howard, as I'm sure FAMU and a lot of HBCUs have a lot of international students. And
Mm-hmm.
so, I got to experience different cultures, again, internationally, and different cultures just inside the United States. Different types of Black people. Not to say that everybody in Texas is the same, but, it was just kind of like eye-opening to see, I have friends from all over the country now, and just seeing how they grew up, all over the country, all over the world, how they grew up, the things that, they had to, either struggle through or triumph over to make it there, and just, all kinds of amazing stories of people from all over the world that went there. And so I think that was probably the most eye-opening, impactful thing.
Yeah, I agree. I think when I got to Howard, so I came from Metro Detroit, but the suburbs. So I was in a school where, and even prior to high school, but there were not that many Black students. It was diverse, so it wasn't all white students, but there weren't that many Black students.
Yeah.
So me going to Howard was like, oh my gosh. Like, I remember my parents were telling me recently, one of the first phone calls in college, I called them and I was like, no, everybody in my class is Black. Like, I look around, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But to your point, Stevie, I think it also opened my mind to realize like the diversity amongst Black people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like you said, international people from all over the world. And so I think that's one of the cool things too, when I kind of had that realization, like, yes, there is diversity in general, but even amongst Black people, there's so much diversity.
Right.
If you don't think there's diversity amongst Black people, play spades in Drew Hall with people from Detroit, people from LA, people from Atlanta, and you'll know that there's diversity within the United States of Black people. Everybody plays different. But yeah, you learn that pretty quick at Howard.
Yep, I agree. What's up, everyone who's joining? Thank you for joining. Charlie, Chris, Rhonda, my mom. Hey, Mom. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Mom.
Hey, Mom.
So I want to talk to you guys about so many things. As far as I guess I want to go so many different ways. So one is, how did your HBCU experience then go on to influence Ivey and Allen?
I think if I can speak candidly for the both of us, kind of like everything we said kind of culminated into the experiences we've had, right? So like from bottomless brunch to you up. I mean, granted, brunch probably didn't take off until after we graduated, but the fact that we knew the vibes that we wanted to create and the target audience that we wanted to galvanize around this product, you know what I mean? Like it made sense that those folks understood the culture behind, going to a HBCU or Black culture and the things that we love doing socially. And so I think just those experiences, knowing that there are levels of Blackness, there are different types of Black folks that like different things, different themes. Socially, they enjoy, more cultural things versus like being turned up all the time at brunch. So, you know what I mean? So like being able to like touch on those different areas that we know that we're seeing and we enjoy. I think that kind of fed into our vision.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that, kind of how she's saying there's different, and then, back to the diversity of Black Americans even. Either when we're coming up with the names for our candles or the themes, sometimes I want to go full ratchet, and then sometimes she has to bring me back. Like, listen, that's not for everybody. There are some people on this side. So, for example, when we were doing our homecoming kit, we had to think of themes. We had 3 candles in each, so we had to think of themes. Obviously, I went straight to party. I was like, that's all people do at homecoming is party. Da, da, da. She's like, no, Steve, There's other things that go on.
Some people like going to the game and going to
are,
convocation.
I
Like,
haven't
it's different.
I haven't been to a game in over 10 years. And I was like, there's a tailgate. I know that much. I don't know if they still do the game. I'm not sure. But
Oh my gosh.
but it kind of I think we had different experiences at different HBCUs, and I think it helps. I think that's why Ivey and Allen is good, because it's not just one person, but it's both of us having to come together and create something that we think will be, sometimes it leans more Allen, sometimes it leans more Ivey, sometimes it leans more Howard, sometimes it leans more FAMU. But I think it helped us to know. I think going to HBCUs, just seeing how different Black people are. So there's no one type of Black person. So we but we want to be unapologetically Black. Right. So that might mean you're more Allen Black, you might be more Ivy Black, or you might be more, you want everything very minimal. You might want everything to be bright and vibrant colors. So, just the way people are at HBCUs.
Okay. Before we get specifically into Ivy and Allen, I would like both of your stories, your journeys. So I know you're from Atlanta, you're from Dallas, so sort of, college, but then after, what jobs did you have before you started Ivy and Allen, and just kind of like your career paths before you got to Ivy and Allen?
Yeah, so I was pre-med at FAMU. So another reason why I was kind of like not really on the homecoming scene like that, I was stuck in a book, literally like the whole time I was there. Okay. And, from there, I had visions of going to med school and becoming a doctor. And I kind of rerouted myself, and I started a career in public health. So I went to Drexel in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and received my master's in public health. And so then I started working in research, healthcare research. So fast forward to now, I'm working at a children's hospital as a research coordinator here in Dallas. I've been here for about 3 years. And so Ivy and Allen probably wouldn't have come along if I didn't meet this guy. He's a Tinder bae. Essentially, we met on Tinder. Oh, and, I think, just like you were saying earlier, just like, I think we balance each other out, you know what I mean? And like a whole lot. And some of the things I'm into, I'm more like engaged, not that he's not, I'm more like volunteerism and being engaged with my community and doing active extra stuff at work, like being a part of like work groups and everything. And so, and that kind of feeds into, I guess, the energy or the vibe that I put into what we're doing. So, and he's kind of like the yang to that. So, and he can explain that.
So my journey, like I said, grew up in Dallas, started rapping in Dallas, and I wanted to be Diddy. I didn't have to rap, but I wanted to rap, produce, be in the music industry. So I went to Howard, met a bunch of amazing people, had a few little songs that were played at a few little parties, and decided I wanted to go to NYU to get my master's in music business. Was fortunate enough to get a lot of great internships through that and worked in the industry for a while doing A&R. Then I guess it was like 2012. I started I guess in 2011 when we first did 1,000 Bottles. I started getting more into crafting experiences and marketing those experiences. So I never really wanted to call myself a promoter, but more so like an event curator. But that's essentially a promoter. So, but I just got more into like creating experiences and so did that. We started doing the homecoming parties, then that expanded into brunch. Everything was kind of really a natural progression. It was like, we always go to brunch, maybe 2 or 3 times a weekend at PS 450. We're bringing 20, you were there. we're bringing 20, 30 people back here into this back room, having our own little party. We know the DJs, we know the manager. Why aren't we monetizing this? So it kind of became with me and my friends like Jesse Jordan, all those guys. We started, Brunch Kings, and we were like, well, we're gonna monetize this, and it just kind of went to. I started to realize that the things that I was having fun doing I can monetize those things, or you are, develop some skills that are transferable to, maybe, I can't create brunches every day, but that led me into wanting to do experiential marketing, which is what I do now for Toyota. Well, I work for an agency named Burrell, out of Chicago, but my client is Toyota. So I manage the experiential events for Toyota. So like festivals, it's mostly festivals, activations, things of that nature. We've gone really virtual this year, but it's really kind of the same relationships I was making, like, going to Broccoli City and beating down those guys' doors so that I could do my own festival. I could use that relationship when I got to Burrell, because then I could, hey, might want to sponsor, we want to continue to sponsor Broccoli City, make sure you give me a good deal. So, it was just kind of a natural progression. And then, that I guess the quarantine kind of really is what led us to the candles.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're ready to get into that yet. I don't want to.
We're ready.
What'd you say? We're ready?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We're ready.
Conversation flow, Steve. Okay. So so we're both right. So we both have had our paths that we were going, and then the pandemic hit, and we were both working from home out of my apartment for the most part. And I knew that a lot of events weren't going to, or like my events were getting canceled. So I had things lined up that were like, oh, we got to cancel this. This is March. We'll be able to do something in June. Nope, that's going to get canceled. It just kept dragging on. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, because that's I still have my 9 to 5, but that's a significant piece of my income, yearly income that I'm used to coming out. So we were, trying to also figure out things we could do creatively while we were quarantining, as like relationship building projects and, things of that nature. Her ideas. So, candle making, she had made some candles at some work outing or something, and she had been telling me about it. So I Googled it one day, and I was like, just trying to see how much it costs to start making candles. And I was like, this is pretty good. I think this could work. How are we going to market them? Then I was like, well, we're just going to market to the same people we throw parties to. So let's make them party vibes.
They buy candles.
Things that we can't do now. Let's bring the outside inside.
Right.
And so that's kind of how it got started. That, and then just music vibes. Like sitting around the house, there's only so many shows you could watch. So we listen to music and like, hey, what if this playlist had a candle? Or what if the candle had its own playlist, I guess.
Or what if we had a candle that kind of matched like us cooking brunch, or us kind of, thinking about, being traveling, what I mean, which is our out of office candle. Like it's kind of like that. Like those are kind of how ideas just kind of pop in our heads.
That's dope. Yes, Shane said so dope. I agree.
Thank you.
For joining. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. So what is your process then of making candles? I mean, not the top secret stuff, but what you can share.
Oh, well, we can't tell you how we blend things, but I'm just kidding. No, so, I mean, starting kind of like how Stevie was saying, we think of, I guess, an outside or social or a song that inspires us, or like something that we actually missed during quarantine. And then we buy all these samples of fragrance oils and smell them. We literally like line them up, and we're just like, okay, does this like make you feel like you at homecoming right now? Does this make you feel like you're at PS450? PS450. Like, does this make you feel like is it taking you back to these places? And, I'm really more so over the production side of things. He does most of the marketing. So it's really up to me, essentially. I mean, he has some buy-in, and he gives his feedback, but for the most part, I make the decision in terms of, okay, this is the oil we're going to use. But I value his feedback, because I think, getting a male's perspective on a fragrance, I think is one thing versus mine. I mean, we all have different, odor, scents, and things that makes us calm, that we're drawn to, and all those things. And so I just I think our process is more or less just making sure we have a little bit of something for everybody, and that it's not overly aggressive, and that it's clean burning, and it's a clean scent. And so like we work with different types of vendors. And there are only a few out there. So if you Google how to make a candle, I'm pretty sure you'll know who we buy things from. But they are all very different. And so we really try to make sure we go with the vendors who have those natural waxes and have those oils that are, that have some component of essential oils in them and things of that nature. And we just want to make sure that, like I said, like our candles aren't aggressive and abrasive. So yeah. I think we do a pretty good job at picking those out.
Yeah. No, I think you hit it on the head. I'm more so on the theme, idea, how it's gonna look side, how can we sell this side, and she's more of, okay, well, this is what, scent notes that we need to have, and this is how we need to pour the candle, and this is how we need to present it, this is how we need to package it, so we balance each other out. So we do argue, and we do
a whole lot.
We do we do argue, but at the end of the day, we try to separate the business from the relationship, A, and then B, just try to see it from the other person's viewpoint, so that it's like, I didn't have any candles. Like, I wouldn't have any candles at my house or at my apartment if she wasn't here. So I have to, a lot of the times, kind of let her take the lead on what scents actually work. Like, I'll have the tailgate smelling like whiskey, sweat, popcorn,
grass,
barbecue. And all that stuff doesn't go together. What up, Troy? All that stuff doesn't go together. So, so she has to like taper me or like pull me back sometimes. Like, hey, why don't we just do something like some leaves or something? Like,
maybe leaves, but
But you get what I'm saying. She has to pull everything back to actually make it make sense. I'm more of the ideas person. So
for sure,
any of my business partners will tell you the same thing. So
like, I'm gonna let you execute. I'll think about stuff. Yeah.
What's up? Let's see. I am Spence Wade. Sir said, what up, HU fam? Emily just joined.
Oh, what up, sir? I think I saw Greedy in the building.
Yes.
Hey, y'all.
It's a lot of people. What's up, Emily?
It is. So are you guys actually
Wizzle.
make candles yourself?
Yeah, we hand pour, we mix everything in-house, by in-house in Stevie's living room / kitchen. So everything from start to finish is, I guess, custom made, if you will, or hand poured. We operate kind of like on a pre-sale type, what'd you call it? Like a basis. Yeah. So basically you place an order, we fulfill your orders by starting like the pouring process, like where our products aren't sitting on the shelves and kind of like collecting dust. It's like they're made to order essentially. And so I do most of that work. All of it. So I do all the pouring and everything, which is fine. I actually enjoy that. And if you've ever made a candle or ever created anything or worked with your hands, I think that's me, and that's kind of like where I live. And so it's quite soothing for me. So yeah. And I mean, like I said, everything's handmade. From after we pour them, we label them, we kind of just make them nice and ready to go.
That's awesome. Yes, Emily loves her candle. Charlie said, HU. What's up? So I was actually going to ask, you were saying like the pouring and everything is really soothing to you. Is it like nice, I guess, opposite balance from like your work life and everything?
Oh my gosh. Yes, absolutely. And I think that's kind of why I jumped on it. It was his idea to begin with, but I knew it was so different from, like, I work in data. Like, all I'm doing is sitting in front of a computer, using programs, sending emails back and forth, making sure people are getting what they need. And it's so different. I mean, I don't have much people interaction, but I still get a chance to be creative. I get a chance to kind of be active, and really, just not only using my brain, because there is a certain level of science to it. You know what I mean? Like, just kind of like measuring out things and pouring things and everything. It's not like rocket science, but there's still a level to it, to where it's like, I want you to have the same reaction I got, you know, when I'm smelling it as I'm pouring it. It's like, damn, it smells good. You know what I mean? Like, I want you to have that same kind of reaction. And so that's the joy that I get out of it. Excuse me.
Nice. Yes. Loves the packaging. Dom loves the wick choice. So you guys are in all
Thank you.
beginning to end. It's like all you guys, right?
Yeah.
Yep. I do most like the design of the stuff, so the labels. We both choose the jars and the packaging. But yeah, it's a lot of teamwork.
A lot of headache too when we're dealing with like vendors and stuff. I think that's kind of like the biggest part of like, you know, just being reliant on those folks out there that supply our oils and our waxes and stuff. So
yeah, I think what I like, but I know this isn't probably good business practice, but we really can't. I don't think either one of us could do it on our own. So like, if for some reason there's Ivey and no Allen, or Allen and no Ivey, I guess it's gonna be the end of the company. But it's good to be able to, like, you know, trust each other to, okay, you're gonna get this done. And I know that I have to do this in order to uphold my, you know, part of the responsibilities. So I think that's good. Not necessarily the best business practice, but you know.
I mean, we learn. Like, I'm scheduled to teach him how to actually make the candles. And anytime he's over here working in Shopify or he's like making site changes, I'm like, ooh, how do you do that? You know what I mean? Kind of like show me like what it is you're doing, so that in the event that something like that did happen, you know, which God forbid it doesn't, like, you know, I can still do that, and I can carry a load if he's like working, you know, and he has to do things with his full-time job and vice versa. So to
answer, I don't know if I'm supposed to be answering questions or you answer. to answer Emily's question, how has working together strengthened our personal connection? I would say that, like, because we can't go through the full process without each other, we have to stop and check in and communicate.
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
And learning how, I mean, it's different communicating what do you want to eat tonight and communicating like what, you know, which jar am I gonna get that we have to spend a certain amount of money on and order a certain amount of, and like that we have to sell. We can't take it back. I can't just get a different one tomorrow. Like, once you make this commitment. So just figuring out how to communicate, the best ways to communicate. It's been, like I said, we argue. So there's been arguments that we didn't have, like, just being in a relationship. So it kind of helped us to kind of, okay, we have to talk to this person like this, or when we know that they're in this mood, or respect that they have other things that they're doing, and, you know, stuff like that. So I think it's been a learning process for me. So
I'll be the first to say deciding what to eat is a lot more difficult than deciding on what jars to purchase. But like Steve says, it's right. He's right. Like, communication is key. I think establishing boundaries is another thing. Like you said, you know, understanding that if he's working, you know, his full-time job, like, I can't be like, ooh, like, come and look at this come smell this. You know what I mean? There have been times when I've like shoved a jar of oil in his face, like, ooh, can you tell me what you think? And he's like,
I can't smell it.
I don't, what? No, like, can we deal with this later? And I mean, that's the kind of thing. It's like, you know, tell me what you need from me, or like let's set, you know, some time, put some time on the calendar. Let's have a meeting. Let's, you know, kind of have some time just for this, and carving that out, I think, is important. And like you said, like, we didn't really, I mean, we knew communication was key, but then, like, you know, in our own relationship, but actually like having a business, I think, and having a successful business, we knew that we had to develop those skills a little bit more. You know what I mean?
We're still developing.
Right.
Still.
Yeah.
Emily loved this. She said, keep it up. The Black Love and Entrepreneurship Partnership is awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody else asked the question.
Yes,
I think James.
On average, how long is the testing process for each flavor before you release it to the public?
I love how he calls them flavors, even though they're scents.
I wasn't going to say anything.
I guess it depends. Like, it took us a while to get the first 3. because it was a lot of back and forth on like what are the names and what do we want to smell like? Are we gonna throw bacon in with the mimosas and pancakes, or is it just gonna be like trying to figure that all out? But now that we kind of have been around now that we've done it a few times, it's a little bit easier, but we still, like I said, we butt heads on what we're going to make each thing smell like. So once we can come up with a name or with a theme, then I think I would say, depending on the vendors, because a lot of the vendors, with COVID and everything, vendors have been slow. So the process that we have to actually get a sample of the scent. Then after we get a sample of the scent, we decide, okay, this is yes or no, or it's either a no or maybe. Because after you get the scent, and then if we ordered enough, hopefully we did, we can make a test candle. Because each scent is gonna smell different in each type of wax and with each wick. So it's kind of like now that we know what wax we want to use and kind of what wicks, is a little bit easier. So we just kind of go back and forth now. So I would say I would try to give us about a month if we're trying to, just to make sure we test stuff with different wicks. Sometimes the wicks won't light with certain fragrances in the wax, so we have to get another wick and create a whole other candle. Right. You're not really supposed to test it till it's been sitting for at least 48 hours. Really, they want you to wait a week. But so there's a lot of different things, but we kind of, from trial and error, kind of know, like we have scents that we like, and we're like, hey, we're gonna come back to this once things get going, and here's a list of names. Maybe we can make one of these names work. So, I would say a month. Yeah, on average.
Kat said bottomless brunch is fire. Chef
Appreciate that, Kat.
Thank you.
Do you guys think that creating this business during the pandemic has been, I don't want to say better or worse, but I guess better or worse? Like it's a challenge in general that it's a pandemic. It's a challenge. I don't know if you guys spent this much time together before, but now you do, and now you're creating a business. So how has that all sort of like come together and worked?
Well, the pandemic, it rocked me like it's rocked most of us, in terms of like all these plans that we had, in 2020 and not being able to do them or see them through. And like a lot of us had to regroup, and a lot of us are still regrouping. And so the challenge is just like knowing that there is opportunity. Like I try to look at the glass half full, and as far as like, we're in a pandemic, and it sucks that people are dying all around us, and like close friends are being impacted by this pandemic, and yet here we are thinking about ways to kind of like still have you enjoy your space, still have you try to forget for a moment what's happening outdoors. And so for me at least, it was kind of like just it started off as like kind of this mindless thing to do, like an activity, you know what I mean, to kind of take, because I was watching the news like nonstop, like, and I was in his space nonstop, and it was just kind of like, why are you shaking your head? And it was just kind of like this thing where, I need to do something. I need to, get my hands on something. I need to like touch something, just feel like I'm being useful, you know what I mean? And it really didn't really dawn on me that, our candles were they smell good, or they were working, until like, we got feedback from our family and our friends. It's like, what are y'all doing over there? This what y'all doing is like amazing. Like, it was I feel like, first of all, I'm gonna back up a little bit. I feel like everybody created a candle company during the pandemic, first and foremost. Like, every time you look around, there's somebody that's releasing candles. And that can be a little intimidating, as starting off. But the fact that I feel like we have a base, we have a group of people that are supporting us, and that they are continuing to support us. And I think that makes it just worthwhile, just like doing and seeing people like say, like, this is taking me away. You know what I mean? Like, I'm working at my office right now. I keep out of office next to my computer, and I burn it every single day. And it's like taken me to places. And I don't think people would just say that, you know what I mean? And
Right.
if it wasn't really, you know, if it didn't really have an impact on them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I will say that first of all, the pandemic I don't want to, there was some positive that, well, let me take that back. I think that being able to work from home helped us with the business, because I don't think, well, one, I think the pandemic forced me specifically to think more creatively about how I could use or utilize my network. So I knew I wasn't going to be able to throw events. So I was like, what else could I produce that could still create an experience and that was kind of, I guess, pandemic proof? Like, people are still you still want a candle even if you're in your home. And so I think that part of being forced to having to think creatively and then having the time, like without a commute, without being chained to a desk, to be able, I was fortunate enough to keep my job and still be able to work from home. So that really kind of helped to have time to research, have time to pour and experiment and to watch YouTube videos and learn and research grants and research, small business loans and just everything that, having to, be somewhere for 8-9 hours a day,
Right.
you're not going to really have time to do. So I think my goal before, things, which I hope things get back to normal as soon as possible, especially for people's, health. But I think my kind of goal was like, hey, let's use this time while we're blessed to still have our jobs, to still be healthy, and let's not waste it watching Netflix. Let's try to get something out of it, because I still watch a lot of Netflix.
Yeah.
I still watch a lot of that. Pretty much everything on there has been watched. But I can wick candles while I'm watching Netflix. So I'm trying to still be productive and use our talents and our blessings while we can.
Yeah.
Okay. So we got another question. What small business resources have been most helpful to you? Have you gone through any incubator or accelerator programs?
We've applied. We haven't gone through any incubator or accelerator programs. We've applied to some of the grants. I think that was another thing, and it's unfortunate, but there was, I guess, some positive. So with the murder of George Floyd and, all of the emphasis on social justice and Black-owned businesses and things of that nature, and then just with, trying to get the economy back on its feet, there's been a lot of resources as far as grants, loans, programs, just entrepreneurs or companies wanting to help people. So we applied for a lot. And we haven't got any yet, but we have gotten some help from from SBA. And we're just continuing to apply. I have I think we both have a lot of entrepreneurs in our network. So they're sending us stuff, weekly. And so we just try to apply to as much as we can. Yeah.
You haven't gotten it yet, but you will.
But we will.
We will. Thank you.
So I saw you guys have a few candles in front of you. Can you show us kind of what you have and talk about, I know the homecoming collection is like the big deal now, and let's talk about the products that you have to show.
Yeah, so we have...
Before you show it. So my bad. I just want to introduce it. So we have, I wanted to...
Sorry. My bad. I can't have looking crazy.
Thank you. I wanted to, even though we weren't going to be able to throw our homecoming events this year, I still wanted to engage the people who normally show up and support my homecoming events. So I wanted to create that experience, just like we were bringing the outside inside. Create those experiences, homecoming experiences inside people's homes. So we started a campaign called Can't Cancel Homecoming, which we're doing some virtual events next week, the 16th through the 18th, with DJ Premonition and Chubby Swag and Jordan Jetson. And then we created this candle kit to kind of accompany those as a way to get the Ivey Allen brand out there and also go along with the TGL events I was doing. So you talk about the candles.
So with that, I'll introduce our homecoming collection. First we have, and they come in these silver tins, white labels, and it's a set of 3, and they're 4 ounces each. And the first theme we have here is VIP. I don't know if you can see that. Yep. And then the second one is Game Day. Okay. And then the other one is Family Reunion. And so this was probably the one I was inspired, like I contributed to. Everything else was clean. So essentially they're supposed to kind of give you a different vibe for different aspects of homecoming. Like Steve said, you got VIP with the partying that goes on essentially during homecoming, and then you have Game Day, which is supposed to be a culmination of like everything from like tailgate all the way to like the halftime show and the after parties and all that stuff. So and Family Reunion is essentially exactly what it is. It's just the sub theme is like back to the yard. It's like a time to get back together with your friends and the people that know and love and reconnecting with. So yeah, we thought that kind of was all inclusive of everybody's experience at homecoming. So we hope we were able to hit the nail on the head with the scents and the fragrances. So you guys let us know.
And Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was going to say, these are also in the spirit of Bison entrepreneurship. We also partner with St. Kitts, which is Megan's company, and they do experience kits. So it was right along the lines of what we were trying to do with creating that experience of homecoming. So we partnered with her, and her company's curated some great kits. And there's a gala kit, a tailgate kit, and like a morning after kit. And they each have one of these candles in them as well. So I think so far that we've done a great job of trying to capture that homecoming experience and be able to mail it to you. We just hope everybody else enjoys it as much as we do. Yeah. So far.
Just a little bit more information about the candles. As you can see, like it's a white candle. Essentially, it's made with virgin soy coconut wax, and it has a wooden wick in it. So a lot of people are just like, "What's this wooden wick business?" And I became a fan of these. I mean, most wicks are like cotton, but the wooden wicks essentially give candles a little bit more of a luxurious type look to it, and it just burns different. Some of them crackle, some of them are silent burning, and so it's just a different type of look than what most folks are used to getting out of like a standard like Bath and Body Works candle.
Okay, and then we have a question, but while I put, how long do the candles burn? Those candles?
These little ones are about I'd say about 20 to 30 hours. Okay. Give or take. People have told me like they've burned, like they've had this burning for like the whole day, and they still have some left over, like within the week. But yeah, and then there's they're small, but they also pack a lot of like throw as far as like if you place this somewhere like in a clothes, like in your bedroom or your bathroom, you'll smell it instantly, almost immediately. I think that's the beauty about having a wooden wick as well, is that it gives you that, like without having to pour so much like oil in it. You have to have like certain oils and the wicks and everything that comes together to give you that smell without being so aggressive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see, in the question box, from The Real Lyracy, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Who specifically is your inspiration, Mr. Owens?
Letreaca is my inspiration.
Oh.
So, but yeah, I think that's not wrong though. She's like I said, I wasn't into candles before this. The candle thing, I think it was kind of me pushing her towards making it a business, but I think that she had the knowledge and the experience and the, like I wouldn't have thought of candles without her. So I think I would have to say she's my inspiration.
Who did they want you to say was their inspiration?
I'm not. I'm not really sure. I see some people. I see Merlin in here. I see some people acting up in the comments. So I think some people wanted some shout outs. But you know.
Okay. Next question, actually from my dad. They'll read, what is your distribution strategy? Internet sales, retail stores, etc. He's in marketing, in case you can't tell.
What is our distribution strategy?
Oh, so right now we're strictly online, retailing, but we've been looking into expanding more into wholesale. So trying to partner with more people like St. Kitts to get in there, either one-off boxes or subscription boxes, selling for like events like wedding, baby showers, different things of that nature. Anything where you want to send your guests home with a little souvenir. That's kind of so I guess there's two parts of the business, right? So there's that part where we kind of white label and kind of use our scents and our expertise and our infrastructure to make candles for other people. Still branded as Ivey and Allen, but for your event. And then like online is where we kind of just sell our what we call our OG line of candles, the 6 original scents.
Okay. Yeah. And we're mainly found on like Shopify. Well, we use the Shopify platform, like, so you won't see us like on Etsy or anything like that. So yeah. Did I say that?
Not yet. I mean, you can go directly to our website. So you can't really search Shopify, but you can go directly to our website. I think eventually, depending on how things grow, we're considering like making things available on Amazon, potentially a co-pouring partner to where we're doing more of the marketing and coming up with the scents and then outsourcing that. But that's a long way down the road. I think right now, I enjoy having all the control of it right now in-house so that we're not worried about if something goes wrong, we know that we messed up somewhere and we can figure it out and correct it.
Yeah. Okay, so what, in addition to the homecoming collection, what other scents are available?
So like Steve said, our OG candles are the first lines that we came out with. We have 2 collections. The first is our social collection, where
Social Escapes,
where we have bottomless brunch is one theme, out of office is another, and I don't know how to do that. You up is another theme, basically, and our other collection is our playlist collection, which comes with a curated playlist on Spotify, and those candles are Gripping with Will, which is more Southern music, Southern rap type theme, and Nothing Even Matters, which is basically taken from Lauryn Hill's and D'Angelo's song Nothing Even Matters. And you can find those playlists on our site on the actual candle page.
Nice. That's so clever. I feel like what I love about you guys, I feel like you found like an interesting niche and like things that go along with it. I love your hashtag candles for the culture. I feel like that's exactly what they are. And now they have like
Thank you.
Like it's just so creative and so dope. So I just applaud y'all because it's dope.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So we are winding down, sadly, but what are some things that are in store? And also, when you were talking about like events like Ivey and Allen for your event, is there an opportunity there for like custom candles? Or like if I'm like, hey, I have this event, I want to partner with you guys to create my own scent. Is that in the...
Well, our motto inside of our candle studio / apartment is if you're paying, we're pouring. So if you have an event that you would like a candle for, we can from start to finish, we can provide you that candle. We would prefer to we recommend using the scents that we've already tested and have out in the marketplace, but we can from everything from design a candle, get top to bottom. We can scent, design everything, so for that you can distribute at your event. What else do we have coming up?
So we have we're working on a holiday candle right now. I was trying to name it Hallow Thankmas, but
she's not on the marketing side, so
so that's probably not gonna work. But yeah, we hope to have a holiday candle that comes out sometime at the end of this month. And we also have some lines that we want to release in 2021, maybe a self-care line, and also a another line. I don't know if we want to give too much away right now.
I want to do, I'm not gonna say the name of it, but I want to do a line specifically of bathroom candles, like candles strictly for a bathroom, whether it's at home or away. But like, you get it. Everybody poops. So
I'm glad you clarified.
Yeah.
Candles that smell like a bathroom?
No, candles you put in your bathroom. No. Candles you put in your bathroom.
No. So yeah, that's I mean that's what we want to continue to keep our original candles in rotation. We need your feedback. We want your feedback on our sites. If you bought a candle, please go on there and leave a comment. Let us know what you think, and if we need to alter something, to change something, like we're always open, to hear about ideas, maybe some fragrances you want to see more of. We're open to that. So,
and I also want to say, really just like we're growing very fast and we have a lot of ideas, but none of it would have been possible without the support we've got from our friends and family. So I really want to thank. I see a few of them in chat, so I really want to thank them because they've been, from buying every time we drop to buying for friends and tagging people and, putting us on to different business opportunities. They've really helped a lot. So it's definitely, we have a very
host of supporters and just people.
Our network has helped us out a lot.
Yeah.
I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but
yeah.
And that reminds me, we only have a couple minutes left, but we have a prize.
Yeah, we have a prize. So we are giving away, well, first of all, we're giving away a homecoming candle kit, which was the candles that we talked about earlier. This one is actually yours, Nyki. So it's going in the mail tomorrow. But it has a little greeting card and the 3 candles, and I think it's gonna go to it's gonna go to Dami Douglas. I don't know if she's in the chat, but this is one of the people who posted on our wall and tagged some of her candle lover friends. So I'm gonna reach out. If she's not in the chat, I'm gonna reach out tomorrow via IG and get her information. But another thing,
I said congrats to Dami, and I'm telling you, we have about a minute 45 seconds.
Okay, I'm sorry. So the other thing, if anybody that is in the chat wants to make a purchase, wants to buy the candle kit, there's a 20% off discount code that I'm giving for people on this chat. It's CCH, like Can't Cancel Homecoming, so you get 20% off. And if you buy the candle kit, 10% of the candle kit is going to go back to our local HUAA and the FAMU Alumni Association.
Nice. That's so good. I was going to ask more about that because I know you have a big give back component, which we don't have a lot of time to talk about, but I think that's dope that you incorporate that too.
Yeah, pay it to Ivey Allen, The Gifted Life. We're going to have some giveaways and some give back opportunities going on really soon.
Awesome. Let's see. The Real Literacy said, what's the Cash App? Do you have a Cash App?
We don't. I think that's just go to ivyandallen.com.
Yes. Oh, and then we have 44 seconds. HU Fake F said that he would need candles. He was talking about candles for his girl's baby shower.
I got you, Marcus.
There was request for candles that smells like European currency, please and
Oh my
thank
gosh.
Euro.
All right. And that's our time.
I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for sharing your story, talking about your candles. I'm definitely about to buy some more because I've been burning plenty of candles since I've been home. So thank you for doing this. It's super dope.
Thank you, Nyki.
Thank you for having us.
Of course, of course. We'll be talking again soon. So,
All right.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
bye.
Bye.